Okay, Jenkins Day 10. This is the Jenkins Day 10 class. We are going to discuss about most common Jenkins errors, right? First will be out of memory error. So whenever you get an out of memory error, what the cause? Jenkins Java process is running out of memory. What is the solution for that? Increase the memory space allocated to Jenkins by modifying the Jenkins underscore Java option in the Jenkins startup script. One more thing was permission denied error. So I told you, right, whenever you log in into the Jenkins, automatically a Jenkins user will be created. So if that Jenkins user doesn't have a permission, automatically you will get a error. So insufficient permissions for Jenkins to access certain files or directories. Ensure that Jenkins has the necessary read and write permissions for its home directory, workspace, any other related directories. So you need to give that permissions. So unable to connect to Jenkins server. What is the reason? Network issue, Jenkins not running, or incorrect port configuration. Right, Darshan just now said that he cannot able to add a node. It might be incorrect configuration. That's the reason he might be not able to add that agent. So check if the Jenkins is running, verify network connectivity, ensure the correct port is used, and firewall setting may also needed to check. Right, missing plugin or plugin related compatibility issue. So some plugins may be missing or incompatible with the Jenkins version. So if you remember, whenever we run a project, I forget to install plugin. At the time, my build was failed, right? So this plugin related issue also you will get. Then after I have realized, okay, then after I have added plugin. So update Jenkins and its plugin to compatible versions. Remove or replace incompatible plugins. Build failures. Issue with the code, or it may be dependencies or build environment configuration. Right, if you don't configure, then also you will get a build failure. Go and check the build logs, check the missing dependencies, correct code issues, ensure proper build environment configuration. Workspace cleanup issue. Right, use Jenkins plugins to clean up your workspace before and after build. Right, whenever I write any project, what I did, I just written one more step called as clean workspace. Right, so that is the best practice. To clean up workspace before and after build, consider configuring jobs to clean up workspace after a build. So Jenkins crashes or freezes because due to Java version. If you are using unsupported Java version, then Jenkins automatically crash. Or underlying OS, nothing but operating system which you are using, it might not support Jenkins. Solution: check system resources, upgrade Java to supported version, and investigate OS related issues. Authentication and authorization problems. So what is the cause? Incorrect user credential or misconfigured security settings. So if you give the wrong username and password, then also it will cause a authentication issue. So what you need to do, you need to verify user credentials and update the security settings and check global and project specific permissions. In the credential section, if you have done any mistakes, you can go and check in the credential section. You can add the updated version, like update username and password. Proxy configuration issues, like misconfigured proxy setting preventing Jenkins from accessing external resources. So you need to set up the correct settings in Jenkins, ensure it can connect to the internet for plugin installation and other external resources. Then after Jenkins real-time troubleshooting, right? You need to check the Jenkins logs. Go to Jenkins dashboard, manage Jenkins, there will be log. What you need to do, examine Jenkins log for any error messages, warning, exceptions. Logs often provide valuable information about the root cause of issue. Right? If you want to find any error, what you need to do, you need to go and check the console output. There you can find out the logs, and there you can examine the logs and you can troubleshoot. Console output and failed builds. Yeah, your project build history. You can go and select the failed build, review the console output of failed build, look for error messages and other related information. Verify Jenkins configuration. So manage Jenkins system, right? Now it is not configured system, it's a system only. So ensure that Jenkins configured correctly, right? You need to go and check global configurations, system setting and plugin configurations. Make adjustment if necessary, right? Whenever we done doing a project, what I have done, I have go to system and I have added right for Sonar Cube, whatever it may be, related information I have added into the configured system, right? Node and agent status. Manage Jenkins, manage node. So verify the status of Jenkins node and agent. Ensure that they are online and available. If using Jenkins agent, check the agent logs for issues. Right? I have seen the logs, right? Agent logs. I got an issue, right? Like no node file not present and all yesterday. Then what I have did, I have added a login from master to node. Then it was resolved. Review job configuration. Examine the job configuration, ensure the build steps, source code repositories and other settings are correctly configured, adjust as needed. Right? Whatever you are doing, everything you need to configure correctly. Now your node is not adding. You are getting some errors. You need to check the recording once again. You need to follow the same steps whatever I have followed. If I am getting successful, then automatically, because I've used the same documentation, right? You will also get the same success. If you are doing some mistake, definitely you will get errors. So it's not a big problem, because I too got a many issues. Now I am not getting issues because I know how to install perfectly, right? You need to check step by step. You need to install system resources. You need to check the CPU, memory and disk usage on the machine running Jenkins. Insufficient resources can lead to performance issue, right? Jenkins agent was failed. If you see what I did, I checked this disk space, right? Then I deleted some files. Then automatically problem was resolved. Verify network connectivity. Ensure that Jenkins can communicate with external servers and repositories. Plugin compatibility, right? Check for plugin updates and ensure compatibility. Authentication, same. Check for Jenkins update, and you can go to community and documentation. I told you, right, Stack Overflow, like that there will be multiple community people are available to provide a solution for you. So you can restart your Jenkins as well to solve the problem. Jenkins real-time errors and solutions. Build failure with Git. So what is the solutions? Check repository credential in Jenkins configuration. Verify network connectivity. Ensure the repository URL is correct. Right? You need to give correct URL. You need to give. Confirm that the Jenkins node has a necessary permissions to access the repository. So Jenkins also should have the permission to access the repository. Out of disk space, we have got this error. Clear unnecessary files from Jenkins workspace. I have done that. Check the disk space. Yes, we have done that. Consider cleaning up old builds and artifacts. Jenkins heap space error, out of memory error. Increase Java heap space in Jenkins configuration. Optimize build processes to reduce memory usage. Check the memory leaks in custom scripts or plugins. If the memory got issue, you need to increase the memory. That's it. Permission denied. Ensure that Jenkins has the necessary permissions. Right? Plugin compatibility issue. Rollback plugin updates. Check plugin documentation. You need to install the correct plugin. Node is offline. Investigate the cause of node going offline. Restart the node or reconnect it to Jenkins. We have done same, right? I have deleted the node and reconnected it again. Then it was solved yesterday. Check for network issues and the node connectivity. So authentication failure, you need to verify your credentials and permissions. You need to go to global security settings in Jenkins configuration. Okay, and you need to have a correct configured. Then whenever you run any pipeline project, you will get pipeline syntax error, right? So you need to give the review and correct syntax you need to give in the pipeline script. Then after plugin problems, Jenkins crashes, which is repeated same proxy configuration. Same thing was written in the top as well. Okay, this is what Jenkins real time. Now interview questions, scenario based interview questions. One scenario was build failure. So in the interview they will ask, in critical production build has failed unexpectedly. You are responsible for troubleshooting and resolving the issue. Right, you receive a notification about a failed build. What step would take to identify the and resolve the issue in real time environment? So in the same like they will ask in the interview, if build was failed, what you will do? Like that they will ask. What is the answer for that? I would start checking the Jenkins console output for the failed build to identify any error message, right? Or stack traces. Then I would investigate the build configuration, dependencies and source code changes if necessary. I would consult relevant logs such as Git or Maven logs to pinpoint the issue. Once identified, I would make the necessary adjustment to the build configuration or code and trigger a new build. So here what they have written, right? I will go to console output, I will check the error message. Depending on that error message, I will check whether the source code which I have used, the project which I have used, it was correct or not. If the source code is not correct, I will change the repository URL. If it is correct, then I will go with next step. If the Maven was issue with the Maven, I will check the Maven configuration and all. Right? Like that you need to explain. Same thing I have written here. I am not telling you to explain the same thing. Whatever you are doing practice, right? You will get an errors. You can explain the same error as well. So second scenario 2 is plugin related issue. So you have just updated a Jenkins and few plugins and builds are failing. How would you approach identifying and resolving plugin compatibility issues in the real-time scenario? So I would start checking the Jenkins system log and build console output for any plugin related error messages. I would then review the plugin documentation to ensure compatibility with the Jenkins version if needed. I would roll back plugin updates to previous stable versions. Additionally, I might consider reaching out to plugin community or forums for insight or updates. Like for suppose you have installed a plugin using Jenkins plugin, right, manager. If the plugin is not working, what you need to do? You need to delete that plugin. You need to again install the plugin which is supported plugin, or you can go to the community, or you can Google it, right? Google it and you can find out the solution. From there, you can resolve this plugin related issues. Same thing was written here. Jenkins pipeline project, right? Your Jenkins pipeline for a significant project is experiencing performance issue leading to delays. How would you optimize the pipeline for better efficiency in real-time environment? So your pipeline, because of your pipeline, performance issues was getting. How you will do that? So I would analyze the Jenkins pipeline stages to identify bottlenecks. This might involve parallelizing certain stages, optimizing build scripts, and ensuring efficient resource utilization. Additionally, I would explore caching mechanism for dependencies and artifacts. Monitoring tools like Jenkins performance plugin or other custom metrics could help identify specific areas that need improvement. The goal is to reduce build times while maintaining the reliability. Here what they are telling, so I will try to install Jenkins performance related plugins and I will check the performance where it is failing. Depending upon that, I will trying to optimize that and I will work on that, and I will try to remove the stages as well in the pipeline script. Whatever the unnecessary stages I have added, I will try to remove that stage so that my pipeline optimization will going to increase. Jenkins scenario for distributed builds. So I would start by checking the build logs and console output to understand the nature of the failure. Same thing for everything, you need to go and check the console output. So you need to check the configurations and all everything. One more, scalability. Due to increased development activity, builds are queuing up, causing delays. How would you scale the Jenkins infrastructure to handle the increased demand in real-time environment? Like for suppose, developer continuously committing the code, then build was automatically started and it was running. At that time, how you will do that? How you will manage that? Right? What the expected answer? I would consider scaling the Jenkins infrastructure by adding more build nodes or agents to distribute the workload. This might involve provisioning additional virtual machines or containers to serve the build nodes, right? What I did, I have created for SonarQube separate server, right? For Docker, I have created separate server. For Argo CD, I have created separate server. So in the same way, they are telling if there is a more load, you need to create a separate server and you need to add it as a node. That's it. And real-time interview questions. So how to handle a situation where Jenkins build suddenly starts failing without any apparent changes in the code base. Sometimes Jenkins build automatically fail, right? How you will troubleshoot? That's the question. I would start by checking the console output of failed build for error message and stack traces. If no obvious issues are found, I would review recent changes in the code base, dependencies and check and Jenkins configuration to identify potential causes. Right, I will go and check the console output, why it was failing and all. And I will check the error message. Depending upon that error message, I will follow. If I am not getting any error, then after it will be related to the code issue. I will check with developer and I will ask him, I got a fail. Just check it out from your side if there is any issue in the code. Explain the process of rollback in Jenkins build to previous stable state. So if the build was failed, I want to go back to a previous stable build. How you need to do that? Rolling back a Jenkins build involves identifying the stable build numbers. So configuring the job to use that build and trigger a new build. This can be done manually through automated process such as using version control tags. So using build numbers, you can go back to the particular build. Okay, pipeline and job configuration. How do you secure sensitive information such as API keys or passwords in Jenkins pipeline? Obviously, there is a Jenkins credential option is there, right? There you will secure the password. So I would use Jenkins credential or credential plugin to securely manage and inject sensitive information into pipelines. So explain how to parallelize stages in Jenkins pipeline for faster build times. Parallelizing stages in Jenkins pipeline involves using parallel steps by defining multiple stages within the parallel block. Jenkins execute them concurrently, reducing overall build time. Nothing but if you want to run multiple jobs at a time, right? If you want to run 2-3 jobs parallelly, then you can use parallel step plugin. So try to explore this Jenkins parallel stage. Once try to Google it and find out what it is about. Then you will get full clarity. How would you handle a situation where a Jenkins plugin update introduces if you anyway I will tell after Kubernetes we are going to again work on projects, right? At that time if there is any missing concepts are there, we will discuss. Mostly it's not a important. If you just try to Google it, you will get. How would you handle a situation where Jenkins plugin update introduces compatibility issues? Yeah, this is a plugin related issue. You can roll back to the plugin version. Same thing was repeating. Name a few Jenkins plugin you have used and explain their role. So what are the plugins you have used? I told you, right? What are the plugins you have used? In the every interview they will ask. So you can tell Git plugin, Docker plugin, Maven plugin, SonarQube plugin, and yeah, what are the plugins you have remembered? Maven, Jenkins, Git, Docker, SonarQube. Right? These plugins you can tell. 4 to 5 plugins more than enough. Troubleshooting and debugging. How would you troubleshoot a situation where Jenkins agent is consistently going offline during build? So I would check the agent logs for any error message and investigate the network connectivity between the Jenkins master and the agent. If necessary, I might restart agent, review resource utilization, and verify the agent's software and dependencies and are up to date. So Darshan was facing the same issue. Agent is not working, it is showing offline. Explain your approach to identify memory leaks in long running Jenkins job. I would monitor Jenkins master and agent memory usage over time, looking for abnormal increase. Right? You can use Jenkins plugin and you can identify memory leaks and you need to resolve that. What is the Jenkins best practices? In the interview, if they ask, you need to restrict user permission based on principle of least privilege. Nothing but you should give only permissions who have access. You should not give to all. Implementing HTTPS for security communication. Regularly updating Jenkins and plugin to patch security vulnerabilities. Use Jenkins credentials to manage sensitive information. So what is the best practice in Jenkins? You should not use directly passwords. You need to use Jenkins credential. You need to update your Jenkins right regular times. And you need to maintain your Jenkins securely using HTTPS. And you need to restrict user from login. You need to give permissions only for a particular person if they want to access only that particular part. And you can tell whatever you know. Explain the importance of version controlling Jenkins configuration jobs. So version controlling Jenkins configuration jobs sensually, reproductively, and trace. It allows teams to roll back to non-stable state, share configuration, and collaborate effectively using tools like Jenkins Job DSL or storing configuration as code. So here what I have written, what is the role of version control Jenkins configuration? Nothing but you have written a Jenkins file, right? What is the use of the Jenkins file? By storing in the Git. Obviously, you can roll back to the previous version. You can track the changes, whatever stages you have newly added, everything you can track, right? Same thing here written. So configuration as code in version control system promotably consistent across environment. Jenkins interview questions. What is Jenkins? They will ask. Explain the concept of CI/CD. They will ask. How is Jenkins different from Hudson? They will ask. I told you right. Hudson is the paid one. Jenkins is the free one. Jenkins is a fork of Hudson. And installation. How do you install Jenkins? Right. Explain Jenkins master slave architecture. What is Jenkins job? Difference between freestyle and Jenkins pipeline. Explain the purpose of Jenkins file. How do Jenkins plugin enhance the functionality? Name a few common used Jenkins plugin, right? How would you troubleshoot a failed Jenkins build? Best practices Jenkins. Jenkins pipeline as a code, nothing but Jenkins file. What is blue-green deployment? How can Jenkins facilitate? Blue-green deployment is a release strategy where two identical environments, blue and green, are used. Jenkins can. What is the deployment we are going to discuss during Kubernetes part? There we will discuss about these deployment strategies. How does Jenkins integrate with Docker for containers to build? You need to download the Docker plugin, right? Okay. Just go and read it out. Everything. If you have joined Git, in the Git also I have provided, right? Git common errors, Git entry questions. Here also I am providing Jenkins common errors. Only build will failed. How to resolve that? That's the main job in Jenkins. Right? If you monitor pipeline job, pipeline fails, build fails. That is only the most commonly happening. If you practice more, then definitely will answer everything in the interview. So yeah, that's it for today. I will stop the recording.